Well, I've got the lines muted. The recording started. My name is Ryan Anderson. For those of you who don't know me, I get to be the guy at corporate who gets to work with all of the wonderful, beautiful, and amazing XANGO rock stars, the leaders that we have. Just feel very, very blessed to be able to work with each and every one of you guys. I've been with the company this second time around for about a year. I was total time is about 9 years. Definitely feel blessed and privileged to be a part of this incredible, amazing company. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something in the juice, but every day I just get more and more excited about XANGO and the XANGO lifestyle. And I definitely know that it's contagious because we're definitely having a lot of great times and a lot of fun working. It's definitely a lot of great things that are happening right now. So with that being said, I want to jump into this call just to kind of highlight a couple of things. And then I have a couple of things that I wanted to personally talk with all of you guys. And we're giving all of our leaders a break today. The purpose of this call, for those of you who are brand new, this is our Saturday morning Get Amped call. It's Wake Up with a Six-Figure Earner, multi-million-dollar earner, million-dollar club member, somebody that's just going to get on and share with you guys a little bit of insight into what they do with their businesses, either from a personal development perspective or from a business skills steps or different things. And today, as you all know, is October 31st for those of us that are here in the U.S. and Canada. For those of you in Isle of Man, it's probably already November 1st, and so the month's over for you guys. And for those others in different parts of the world, it's obviously different time frames. But today's the last day of the month, so I thought we'd give our wonderful, beautiful, amazing leaders the day off so that they could build for that month end and do what they do and helping drive their businesses and helping people hit their month goals. So with that, I wanted to just cover a couple of things really quickly. Obviously, it's the last day of the month, so you have an opportunity to really finish the month strong and hard, hit your goals and do what that is, just making sure that you have that focus today that you're doing. And for those of you that celebrate Halloween, it's Halloween, so hopefully you have some fun times with the kiddos today. Some other announcements. So obviously, November 1st, we're going to be starting tomorrow. So we start a brand new month, and so we're going to be focusing on some different promotions, getting ready for the holiday season, doing some different things. So just really want to encourage all of you guys, obviously, to be on AutoShip, but to help your teams be on AutoShip, because we're going to be doing specific promotions around the AutoShip time for those who have an AutoShip template who are on AutoShip. As well as we'll be doing some fun things for Orange Friday that week, doing some fun things with products and promotions and different things that you and your teams can all participate in. And so there's just a lot of fun things that we're doing. Also, the month of November is also the last month that all of you and your teams, and I heard a lot of your names on this call, a lot of you have already qualified for the Mexican Riviera trip. So congratulations to you guys. But I know that there's some of you guys that are on here that possibly haven't earned the trip yet, or a lot of people are really close. We've potentially got 900 people already who's qualified for the trip, and we've probably got 200 or 300 that are just sitting right there on the eaves of being able to qualify for that. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that November is the last month of qualifications for the Paradise trip. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you've all set that goal and that you're all working towards that goal so that you can make sure that you have that goal moving forward. So if you don't know where you're at as far as the trips are at, you can go to XANGO.com/paradise. You can download the leader document, find your name on the document, or feel free to call into customer service. They can help you, find out exactly where you're at as far as trip qualification. So a lot of things happening in the month of November, a lot of things that you're going to want to get geared up for, and definitely don't want to miss the trip. Definitely don't want to be not on AutoShip. So those are things that you're going to want to pass on to your team members, as well as subtle reminders for yourself. So today I actually wanted to, today is probably more of a lesson for myself than for each of you, but just kind of a thought that I wanted to share with you guys. I find myself every so often where, you know, you just kind of get into the daily grind. You're just working on things. You feel like you're focused. You feel like you're working towards your dreams. But then you just kind of hit a wall. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced this, but this happens to me. Like, I'll just be working on something. I'll be focused on my goals, doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and then I just hit a wall, and I start to let thoughts or different people's ideas or people's impressions or people's their own thoughts and dreams kind of start creeping into my mind. And I've always heard it in the term of, you've got to stop and fill your own cup. And so, you know, to kind of illustrate that aspect of it, there's an old story, and I don't know how much truth there is to it, but it's got a really powerful meaning in it. It's this Indian chief who's taking his grandfather on this hike, or this Indian chief who's taking his grandson on this hike, and on this hike he starts talking to his grandson about that there's two wolves constantly inside us battling. And the grandson says, well, what do you mean there's two wolves inside of us constantly battling? And the grandfather says, yes, there's two wolves inside you that are constantly fighting and struggling to win. And the grandson said, well, what are they about? And the grandfather says, one wolf represents fear and doubt, and the other wolf represents faith and belief. And the grandson says, you know, the next obvious question is, well, who wins? And the grandfather says, whichever one you feed. And I believe that there's two things constantly inside us struggling to get out: fear and doubt, and faith and belief. And you know, if we don't stop to feed the faith and belief, then it's easy for the fear and doubt to creep in. And it's something that happens. You know, we live in a society where it's really easy for us to doubt ourselves. It's really easy for us to doubt our dreams. It's really easy for us to stop dreaming, to stop believing in our faith and in our belief and in our goals and in ourselves. And there's a quote that says, and I truly try to live my life by this quote, that says that you'll never rise above the expectations that you set for yourself. And so, you know, with that battle, with that struggle, it's very important that we stop and fill our own cups with personal development, with spiritual growth, and to surround ourselves with people who are positive, who are uplifting, who are encouraging us to live our goals and our dreams. You know, we are the sum of the 5 people that we hang out with the most. And are we hanging around people who are positive, who believe in us, who are lifting us up, who are helping us to live our goals and our dreams? And every one of us, even myself, if I don't stop to take, and I live around some of the most positive people in the universe. I truly believe that. I mean, every morning I get a personal development quote texted to my phone from Joe Morton's personal study that morning and why it impacted him. And so I live around positive people, but even me, living around these positive people and working around these positive people, such as all of you guys, even I need to stop and take a moment and fill my cup. And so recently I went back to one of the greats, and if you've never read this book, I promise you, if you'll just take, and it's an easy read, it's an oldie but a great one. I promise you that if you've read this book, go back and read it. But if you haven't read it, I will promise you that it'll change your life. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And so I went back to that book and I'm reading it again. And it's funny, you know, I highlighted it and made notes in it and did different things in it from the previous times of reading it. Every time I read it, I get something else. And for some reason, this particular story just really kind of impacted me. It just really kind of just hit me kind of hard. And it's the story of Darby, the gentleman who came out west to find gold. And he had this dream that he wanted to be this, strike it rich, find this claim, find the gold, do some things. So he comes out west. He starts digging. Some of you already know this story. But I think there's some really important things that are in this, is that he starts digging and he finds a little bit of gold in this claim. And so he gets all excited about it, and he has it tested, and it's great, and everything's good, and he really feels like he's onto something. So he covers up the claim, and he goes back east to go raise the capital, the money that he needs to be able to get the equipment, to get all of the other things that they need to be able to come back and mine this operation. Well, he goes back and he gets this money from his friends and his family members. And he's got them all convinced that he's going to pay them off and they're all going to get rich together and things are going to go great. And then he convinces his uncle to come with him to come back and mine this gold. So they buy the equipment, they get the money, they come back, they open up the claim, and they start digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. And they're not finding the gold. They found a little bit of gold and enough to cover a little bit of the expenses and to help pay some of the people back, but they weren't finding the vein of gold that they thought was there. And so, you can imagine being down this dark hole, digging day in and day out, sweat, the conditions, hot, cold, the rigorous work of moving all of this dirt and just continuing to dig and dig and dig. And as you dig, you find yourself just doubting yourself that you probably feel like you've dug your way all the way to China and you've never hit the gold yet, right? And how much longer are you going to go, and how much longer can you sustain, and how much longer can you keep that faith and belief alive? And so you start letting those fears and those doubts start creeping into your mind, just as Darby did. And so he's like, okay, let's throw in the towel, let's give up. And they walk out and they sell all of the equipment and the claim and everything to the salvage dealer for literally pennies on the dollar for what they had in it. And because they'd given up on their faith and their belief, their dreams, they give up. And they went back east, and they hadn't fulfilled the promise. They hadn't fulfilled their dreams. They hadn't fulfilled everything that they knew or thought that they'd set out for. There was a goal, there was a dream there. And so the salvage dealer, of course, goes and gets somebody who's an expert, relies on somebody who's an expert, and they come in and said, yep, they were just following the wrong fault line, and if you dig this way, you'll do it. And within 3 feet, struck it rich, millions and millions and millions of dollars of gold. And of course that story's going to get out. Of course Darby heard of that story. Of course. And can you imagine giving up when you were just 3 feet away from the gold? And so, you could have taken that experience. Darby could have taken that experience and drunk himself into an early grave because of depression and oh my gosh, I walked away from all of that. But instead, he took that as a learning experience that he was never, ever, ever going to give up on himself. Never, ever, ever was he going to feed that wolf that's inside him, that fear and that doubt. Never, ever, ever was he going to doubt himself because he was worth fighting for. And so he got into several different businesses, but the one that he truly excelled at was life insurance. And he ended up selling millions and millions and millions of dollars of life insurance and became very, very successful from that experience. And when he was asked in his later years about how he became so successful in selling insurance, the question came back as simple. I never took no for an answer. I never gave up. That one experience in his life made it so that he would never give up again. And so I would ask that question of all of you guys. How many of you guys have been digging and digging and digging and digging and you found yourself in this dark, dark hole, and sometimes you feel like you're by yourself and every day you feel like throwing in the shovel, but at what point are you going to strike gold? And that's the thing I love about the XANGO lifestyle. And that's the reason why I believe I get so excited and passionate about what we do every day is because, as I'm listening to, the people introduce themselves on this call, the majority of the names that were announced this morning are multi-million-dollar earners with this company. They're people who are top leaders in this company. They're 500Ks, 200Ks, 100Ks. And then there was people on this call that I was listening to that had been with us for a little while. There's people that have that are just joining us. The thing that I love about this is that we don't have to question if the gold mine is here or not, because we've got 13 years of history of people who have lived their dreams and who have done everything to find the gold for us, that we know that it's here. But at the end of the day, what are we doing to fill our cups, to feed that wolf inside of us with the faith and belief in ourselves to keep going, to keep pushing forward, keep doing that? And so as it's October 31st, November 1st, wherever it is in the world you're at, as we're right there on that threshold, I want to throw out that challenge to every one of you. I want you to, for the next 90 days, today, before you lay your head down on the pillow, I want you to write down, what is your life going to look like 90 days from now? What is it going to look like? 90 days from now, what is your life going to look like? Where's your business going to be? Where are you going to be at from a personal development perspective? Where are you going to be financially? Where are you going to be at spiritually? Where are you going to be at for health-wise? 90 days from now, look in the future. Have the faith and belief in yourself that you can look out 90 days from now and you can write down some big goals, some crazy goals, some good goals, some goals that are attainable, but reach out 90 days from now and then build back. Don't write down where you want to be. Write down where you're going to be. Start feeding that wolf. Start feeding that faith and belief in yourself right now, so that in 90 days, when you arrive at your goals, it's not a surprise to you. See, the problem is that so many people, they say, in 90 days, I want to be here. 90 days, I think I can do this. In 90 days, I can do this. Don't do that to yourself. Write down where you will be. Where will your business be? Where will you be spiritually, mentally, physically, financially? Where are you going to be 90 days from now? Write it down and then work backwards. What are the steps that you have to do? What are the daily goals? What are the daily activities that you have? And just like Darby, and you know, he went and relied on friends, and he and the uncle were feeding off of each other, and they were feeding the wrong wolf. They were feeding the fear and the doubt, and they gave up. The salvage buyer, what did he do? He knew that he had an opportunity, and he reached out to an expert. And within 3 feet, after he reached out to the expert, found gold. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here at XANGO. You don't. In fact, if you do, you're going to be digging a lot longer than the rest of us. Don't dig. Don't sit there. Reach out to an expert. Ask for help. There's several people in this company, so many amazing, powerful, influential people who are sitting there, these experts who have the information, who want to help you. You just got to reach out and ask for it. You just got to reach out and ask their advice. Plug into it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Where are you going to be for the next 90 days? Drive your business. Drive your spirituality. Drive your mental focus. Drive your personal development. Drive your financial goals. Drive your physical goals. You can do this. The only difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is that the successful person made a choice or a decision to be successful. Make that decision today. Write down where you're going to be in 90 days from now. And then the second part of that is share it with somebody. Share it with somebody who believes in you. Share it with somebody who is going to help support you. Share it with you to do this. You know, after, you know, this, I read this book, I went back to Napoleon Hills, Think and Grow Rich, just so you guys can write that down and get the book. Napoleon Hills, Think and Grow Rich. This was me probably 3 weeks ago, and I found myself that I needed to do this, and so I did this. And so if you walk into my house right now, Sharana, my wife, and I, if you go into our bathroom, on her side of on her sink, above her sink and above my sink, there's 100-day goals. 100-day goals are written down. And every day we encourage each other. What is it that you're doing? What is it that, you know, how did this go? How did this happen? How's things going? Because in 100 days from now, you know, we're about 20 days into this. It's not going to be a surprise for us when we hit that goal. it's not going to be a surprise because we thought it out. We believe in ourselves. We're feeding the faith and belief, and we're drowning the fear and the doubt because we're worth it. And I'm here to tell you that every one of you on this call is worth it. You're worth living your goals. You're worth living up to your potential. You're worth sharing with the world your God-given talents that other people need to have and to experience. See, I think it's interesting that when we categorize a hero or we lift people up or we look at different things, there were several people's influence on that individual to get them to where they're at. And I truly believe that nothing happens by chance. Ecclesiastes talks about a time and a season for all things. And that nothing happens by chance. And the people that we come in contact with, there's something to learn from everybody. There's something to grow from everybody. There's something to be able to do that. And if we are living up to our potential, we're also leaving a trail of influence, a positive influence on people. And we're helping other people to do those things. So that's the third thing, is make sure that we are leaving a positive influence on everybody that we come in contact with. See, we had some people in the office just the other day and was with Aaron and Gordon and Kent and talking about, that they've had a lot of success in their life and XANGO's been a big part of that. And they wouldn't really have to come into work if they didn't want to. They wouldn't really have to come into the office if they didn't want to because, where they're at from a success perspective. And so I always ask the question to them in front of people because I think it's an important question. Why do they keep doing what they're doing? They don't have to. Why do they keep doing? They could easily retire. I don't think their children would ever have to work if they didn't want to. And inevitably the question is always the same. They do what they do because they love it. They love impacting people. It's not about the money. It's about the lives that they touch. And that's really what XANGO was created for. Whether you're with us 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 100 years, no matter how long you're with us, we want you to always feel like you got more out of XANGO than what you put into it. And the only way that we can do that is by helping you grow, by helping you develop, by helping you become better, by helping you do all of the things in life that you were born to do. And so with that, I'm going to end with this one quote. And I appreciate you guys taking a little bit of time. And like I said, this message today was probably more for myself than a lot of you. But it's just something that I think is important, that we stop and we fill our cups and we set those 90-day goals and we go after it. And so this is a quote. I'm not 100% sure where it came from, but I have it printed out and it's by a couple places that I frequent often, one of which is my desk. But it says, watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Watch your words for they become your actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What great scripture! It's something that something as simple as thinking your thoughts can truly control your destiny. And as you follow that through, thoughts to words, words to actions, actions to habits, habits to character, character to destiny. So if today we start feeding our minds with positive thoughts, with positive outcomes, with positive affirmations, then we can truly have a positive destiny. But if we allow fear and doubt, we allow other people's negativity, we allow what's happening in the environment around us to drown down our faith and our belief, then we can have not a positive destiny. We can have a destiny that wasn't necessarily written for us. So thoughts lead to your words, words lead to your actions, actions lead to your habits, habits lead to your character, and character leads to your destiny. And with that, I want to close by saying thank you for all that you guys do. Thank you for representing this incredible company. Thank you for believing in this company. Thank you for allowing XANGO to be the the place that you plant your goals and dreams and aspirations. And I want to tell you that on behalf of the corporate team and on behalf of this company, we don't take that for granted, and we are working hard every day to make sure that your destiny and that your future here with this company as we build legacies together is a safe one. So I want to thank each and every one of you for all that you guys do. God bless you. Thank you for making it an incredible October. Let's make November your best month in your business. Let's make sure that we take those 9 months and the next 9 months and go after it. And Grace Dick just sent me a wonderful text. She said that if you go online, you can actually find Napoleon Hills Think and Grow Rich, and you can download it for free. So I don't know how much better that can be than finding some words online, Think and Grow Rich, that can literally change your life for free. Now that's destiny right there. Thanks for sharing that, Grace. So go out, get it. If you've read it, read it again. If you haven't read it, read it. I promise you it will change your life. It continues to change my life. And, being with all of you guys is a positive. I'm a better person because I get to hang around all of you guys. God bless you guys. Have a beautiful weekend and safe weekend, and hopefully you're amped for the week. God bless. Thank you. Bye.